Home Thoughts from Abroad by Robert Browning, 1812 to 1889. Oh, to be in England, now that April's there, and whoever wakes in England sees some morning, unaware, that the lowest boughs and the brushwood sheaf round the elm-tree bole are in tiny leaf, while the chaffinch sings on the orchard bough in England now. And after April, when May follows, and the whitethroat builds, and all the swallows, hark, where my blossomed pear-tree in the hedge leans to the field, and scatters on the clover blossoms and dewdrops at the bent spray's edge. That's the wise thrush. He sings each song twice over, lest you should think he could never recapture the first fine careless rapture. And though the fields look rough with hoary dew, all will be gay when the noontide wakes anew. The buttercups, the little children's dower, far brighter than this gaudy melon flower. Okay, so this is a poem by Robert Browning. Robert Browning was from South London. He was a poet and a playwright. He's known as a Victorian poet, and he lived a lot of his life in Italy. And this is the idea, home thoughts from abroad. So maybe he's thinking of home, he's thinking of England, and this is written while he is in Italy. And maybe these are things that, he misses about England, but maybe these things seem best when you're not actually there. So, oh, to be in England. I wish I was in England now that April's there. Okay, he wishes he was in England, and this poem itself is a homage to the beauty of the English countryside in spring, to the English spring, to the beauty, to the wonders of the English spring. And whoever wakes in England sees some morning unaware that the lowest boughs and the brushwood sheaf round the elm-tree bole are in tiny leaf. So if you wake up in England, you won't be aware of many of the things that are happening. But you could see the lowest branches of an elm tree. And the lowest branches of these elm trees, there are branches coming out, little small branches, and round the trunk of this tree, the bole of this tree, there are tiny leaves appearing, while the chaffinch sings on the orchard bough in England now. And a chaffinch is a bird, so there's a chaffinch, and the chaffinch is on the bough of a tree, and it's singing in England. And I have this vision of a beautiful April day, where the things are starting to grow. We've got the first green shoots of spring in the elm trees, and the birds are singing on the boughs of the fruit trees. And after April, when May follows, and the whitethroat builds and all the swallows. So after April we have May, and the whitethroat is another songbird, and this is building a nest, and the swallows come, and they're building their nests as well. Hark, where my blossomed pear-tree in the hedge leans to the field, and scatters on the clover blossoms and dewdrops. So listen. This is quite interesting because he says listen, but listen to the sounds, listen to the beauty. And the pear tree is now in blossom, and the pear tree has its white flowers, and it's growing in a hedge. I think this is probably a wild pear tree, and it's leaning towards a field, and it's scattering its petals, and it's also scattering dewdrops, drops of dew, onto the clover, onto the clovers the clover that's growing on the field at the bent spray's edge. So the tree is bending over, this pear tree is bending over, and it's dropping its petals and dewdrops. That's the wise thrush. So I think this goes with the hark. Hark, that's the wise thrush. So listen, that's the thrush singing. He sings each song twice over. So he sings everything he sings it twice, lest you should think he could never recapture the first fine careless rapture. And he sings it twice so that you know that he can do it again, because the first time it's so beautiful you think he's not going to be able to sing that again. And yes, he does, and that's why he does it twice. And though the fields look rough with hoary dew, all will be gay when noontide wakes anew. So yes, the fields, this is morning, and there is still dew everywhere. Hoary is a whitish grey colour, particularly a hoar frost. So the fields, they're not at their best yet, but everything will be beautiful when it's midday, when the sun has really come up, and everything wakes anew. Will be gay when noontide wakes anew the buttercups. So it wakes up when the sun wakes up the buttercups, the buttercups are awake, these yellow flowers. The little children's dower. I think here dower means a gift, a natural gift. So the buttercups, which are a natural gift to the children, far brighter than this gaudy melon flower. So the buttercups are a bright yellow colour, and they've got a much brighter colour, bright shiny colour, than the melon flower that's also yellow, but it's not as bright or shiny as the buttercups. So this was written in 1845, and this is it's talking about the beauty of England in spring, that England in spring is such a beautiful place that it's really fantastic. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Home Thoughts from Abroad by Robert Browning.